What's going on, everyone? So, the Los Angeles Clippers are going to be very interesting this upcoming offseason, right? Big question is Kawhi Leonard, right? Depending on what happens with Kawhi Leonard, I think will dictate kind of the direction in which the Clippers go. Do the Clippers end up having a fire sale? Do they end up kind of retooling, right? Do they look at it and go like, okay, we'll have a full training camp, a full offseason, a full preseason, right? Go get a center, an Isaiah Hartenstein or something like that. We might have a squad. Maybe that'll be enough for us to kind of get over the hump. Get Bradley Beal back, right? Retain Benedict Mathurin, maybe make a key move, key trade, whatever. All of a sudden we're in business, right? And that could definitely be a sell for them. I don't know if that'd be good enough to win an NBA championship, but who knows? Depending on what Benedict Mathurin does, Darius Garland, if he could stay healthy for a full year, there's definitely kind of something to keep your eye on with the Los Angeles Clippers. But the other route is Kawhi's contract ends up getting voided, and it's like, might as well hit the reset button at that point, right? Like, you weren't able to win with him. You're probably not going to be able to win without him. And now you don't get any assets or anything like that for any type of trade with Kawhi Leonard. I think that this is a scenario where the Los Angeles Clippers are probably cooked. Probably going to have to pack it in for a year type thing. And just kind of see like, what can Benedict Mathurin, what can Darius Garland, what can those two do as leads? Like I said, maybe go get a center. Can you maybe go get one in the draft or something like that? Trade for one or buy a pick in the second round or something like, you get options, right? There's potentials there, or go trade for a guy or something. Again, you have key veteran guys, Derek Jones Jr., I think several teams would want, even team like the Lakers behind me. Chris Dunn is a quality veteran that teams I think would want, kind of makes some sense and stuff. So to me, I definitely think teams are going to be keeping an eye on the Clippers. I mean, the whole world is probably going to be keeping an eye on the Clippers because depending on what happens with the Kawhi Leonard situation. And, the other alternative is obviously if Kawhi, let's say is able to stay with the team, I still think it's in your best interest to trade him. Get what you can because he'll be an expiring contract. Right? Like, so you don't want to run the risk of losing him for nothing. This is Darius Garland and Benedict Mathurin's team now. It is, right? Those are your two guys who, by the way, were really good for you in that game, right? Like that you lost to the Warriors. And, I just think that that's your future. You're building around those two. I think everyone else is open for trade. Everyone else is available. You keep guys like Cam Christie and, Kobe Saunders and guys like that, like the young guys, right? Because that's the direction that you're going. And just see, can you get some assets, stuff like that? You might have a little cap space, so maybe you can take on a bad contract or something, get a couple picks or something, right? Like, again, just start heading in that direction to where it's like, hey, we're going to retool. You two are the guys. We're going to sign Benedict Mathurin. You two are the guys, and you're the guys that we're going to kind of build this foundation around. That's kind of what I think they should do if they're able to keep Kawhi Leonard. Again, just outside of those two, Darius Garland and Benedict Mathurin, I think you end up having a fire sale, right? I just think it's, everything must go. Everything has a price. Whatever you want, you could take it. They got player options on team options on like half the roster and stuff like that. So again, they're going to be able to clear cap space. They're going to be able to do some things to where, if they lose Kawhi, then I think you're rebuilding, right? If you are able to retain Kawhi, I still think you're rebuilding. I just think now you may actually get some stuff to kind of help aid that rebuild a little bit rather than, being completely cooked, and really it's ultimately going to come down to what does the NBA want to do, right? The NBA, this is unprecedented. Like that's something that people need to keep in mind. Like we don't know what the punishment's going to be, if it's going to be severe, if it's anything. Very possibly they just go like, we didn't find anything. And they just hope that this all kind of blows over and like people forget about it, which it will, like all things, like people eventually forget stuff. And, the next thing happens and everyone's focused on that. And, you get through the playoffs and then you get into the off season and everyone's just like, like what happened? Like that could be the NBA's kind of idea of like, hey, we didn't have to do anything right now. Clippers are eliminated. But I do think that the Kawhi situation, I do think is going to be the talk of the town, right? I do think that that's going to be kind of one of the biggest things. And, Pablo's going to just let that go, or is he going to keep pushing and probing and stuff, right? Yeah, again, if this was David Stern, I've talked about, I think we'd already have had a punishment. I think it would have been crazy severe, right? It might have been so severe we're all like, wow, like, dang, like, because he liked to make an example, right? Okay, you want to do stuff like that, we're going to make sure that never happens again. Where Adam Silver's a little more lenient. He's a little more kind of, understanding. He's a little more kind of on the player side of things. So I could see him maybe kind of given a little bit of a light sentence, but honestly, the worst thing that might happen for them is, like, I think you can make an argument. The worst punishment is, basically they keep Kawhi, but they suspend him for like 60 games, something like that, to where it's like, by the time he comes back, season's over. It's like, yeah, you keep Kawhi, but good luck. And then no one's going to trade for him at that point, right? Like, why? Why would I? Why? I'm just trading for an expiring contract. Unless the Clippers like really do want to tear it down and rebuild. But even then, like, it's just like you're almost better off just letting his money fall off the books in the offseason, right? And let him kind of figure some stuff out. The only way I think you really punish the Clippers is something like that, where like, yeah, you can keep him, but he's gonna be suspended for the whole season, or 70% of the season, or whatever. Oh, you allegedly took $50 million. Well, that's 50 games. Congratulations. Now, and you're not going to get paid for those games. You're suspended those games without pay. So, there you go. 50 million given back. All is right. There you go. Right. Like now you're suspended for the 50 games. And then that kind of thing. I could definitely see something along those lines, but in general, this offseason is going to be very interesting because the Clippers didn't go anywhere near where they wanted to be. I mean, at some point, Steve Ballmer's probably going to have to be like, all right, we gotta start doing something. We got to start rearranging here. We got to start doing things here. What do they do with Ty Lue, right? Like, there's just a lot. There's a lot of questions, a lot of concerns, a lot of comments. It's going to be very fascinating, and I'm excited. I mean, obviously, as a Laker fan, it's like, man, we might be able to get Kawhi dirt cheap. I think that'd kind of help. Derrick Jones Jr., Chris Dunn, John Collins, sign me up, right? Like there's things there, there's options there, but ultimately it's going to come down to what the NBA wants to do and how the NBA wants to handle it. But anyways, always, this is a discussion. I pass the question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you want to like this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.